Welcome back to Sawyer Farm. I'm Jacob. Today's video is actually going to be a honeydew project my wife's been wanting. We're actually going to be building a brooder. We have some chicks, as you can see. We got, I think, 28 chicks. Alex got. She got a variety. She's really wanting to get that those kind of mixed colors, the darks, the greens, and she's just kind of wanting to get those type of eggs. And but right now, so yeah, the brooder, what we've been using is kind of those cattle troughs, and they work very well, and we really like them. And not saying we're not going to use them after this, but we're just we've seen this design and we're going to try it out. We think it's going to be a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier maintenance. We watched a channel, Traditions Homestead. It's pretty much going to be just like what they built, except they built theirs for quail. Their little kind of quail hutch, and it's going to be pretty much just like that. That's kind of where I got the idea from. Ours is going to be probably just a little bit taller because we're going to be putting chickens in it, and so that's kind of where we got the idea from, was from their quail hutch video. So this brooder, we think, will be a cleaner environment, and like I said, it will be just easier to maintain. They're not going to really be walking around in their poop because it's going to be a cage lifted up off the ground. And we also get meat chickens every year, and we're going to try them out in that. We've never had anything like this, so we don't know if, there might be some trial and error that we're going to have to maybe figure out, but we'll just play with that whenever we get along and get the chickens in there and see how everything is. And we're going to have an automatic waterer in there, so I think this setup will be pretty good for a little bit lower maintenance and just an easier way of kind of raising chicks. So we're gonna get started building this. I already kind of cut all the boards, so I didn't have to bore you with just cutting all of them. But pretty much the dimensions are going to be about 9 feet wide, about 2 feet deep, and roughly about 18 inches tall. It's kind of going to be the dimensions of the actual cage itself, and then we're gonna have it sitting up. I can't remember exactly how tall, but probably roughly around 5 foot, maybe a little less. It's gonna be really easy, just kind of almost like our rabbit cages. They're just gonna be right here, kind of waist level, so we're not bending down or reaching up or anything like that. But let's get this thing building, and you'll probably see a little bit better once we actually start getting into it. Alright, so we got this part of the brooder build. Now, I kind of went off in sequence here, so I'm going to what I'm doing is I'm going to take this top part off because it's going to be a lot easier for me to put the wire down instead of having to notch around these. I'm just going to take pretty much this top part right here off so I can lay the wire down. Once I get the wire down, I'll put it back on here, and it just makes it a lot easier instead of notching it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, y'all, so the next thing we're going to be doing on here is we're going to be actually putting in the doors. Now, I'll just say, if you are building this and going off of this video, I'll say this. Do not put where your doors are going to go, don't put the wire on first and then try cutting it out. We did that and it really was a waste of time because we had the wire up and we're doing 2 doors, so they're going to be kind of big doors. So we literally just cut the wire out and there's just this little bit of wire, and we actually ripped that off because we didn't want to, you know, cut our fingers or anything. So it would have been a lot better if we just built the doors and then got the wire and stuck it on there. So keep that in mind whenever you're building this. And one hiccup we kind of came through this is this thing was all kind of cattywampus and twisted. So we're trying to make it as level as we can so it's not kind of swaying back and forth, and it took us a little bit more. I mean, I'm not a carpenter at all. I'm just trying to do the best I can, and this is kind of what we came up with this bracing. It makes it to where it's now nice and it's not all jankety. So that was one thing we're kind of racking our brains on for a while, but we got it done. It's nice and stable. So we're going to just get onto these doors, and then I think after that we'll probably get onto the water, and I'll show you that. We're going to be doing an automatic water, but let's get to it. All right, y'all, we are on I believe kind of the final step. We're going to be doing the automatic water. And so we kind of went with this. We got ourselves a 5-gallon bucket, and we got, I think, most of this stuff from Tractor Supply. We'll leave some links. We'll try to get, you know, if y'all shop on Amazon, we'll try to leave as many links if y'all are kind of wanting this type of stuff. We'll try to do that for you so you know exactly kind of what we used and everything. But hopefully I can explain it pretty well. So down here, we got these little cup waters. We never use these. We see a lot of people using them. I think these things we got on Amazon. Like I said, I'll put a link. But pretty much they just kind of hit this and it fills up. And they come, you know, disconnected like this. And then you just twist them on like so until they're like that. And this is 1/2-inch PVC. And so what we're going to be doing with these is we're going to section them off, and then we're going to have to cut each individual and then stick them in through this. So they're going to be somewhat like that is what it's going to look like. And then we got our hose right here. I believe this is a quarter inch, because this is going to go to the bucket. And so we have these pieces right here. This is like the little nipple, and this is going to thread onto here like so. And then we're going to stick this right here, and this is where the water goes in, and it goes up to the bucket. Okay, and then we have an end cap for the very end of our line, and then we got another one of these nipples right here, and then you're going to need a bulk fitting. And what this is this is actually going to go on the bucket, and then this will thread inside that. And that's what goes from the this tubing down to the other side, and that's what will feed the actual waterers. So hopefully I explained that well, but we're going to actually build it, and you'll probably get a better idea of what I just said on how everything works, and we'll do a whole run through whenever we're done. So one thing, whenever you're putting these on, you want to make, when you're doing it like this, you want to make sure these are all kind of the same. You don't want this one to be down here. And so what I'm kind of using is the table. I did the first one. The first one doesn't really matter, but I used the first one, set it on the table, and then I just make sure that this one is pretty close to sitting on the table. So now when you lift it up, they're pretty much right on there. So just, if you're kind of doing that, keep that in mind. You want them to all be the same, because when you stick them up and this one is sitting up here, you can't really move that. So keep that in mind. Alright, so we got the bulkhead fitting on. We just cut the hole exactly what this was. I think this is a 1 1/8 is what it was. But just if you're putting one of these on, what I saw, I looked this up because I didn't know exactly which side goes to which. But the threaded end, you'll see back in here, there's this little spot right there. So you're going to have the circle here, and then the threaded end comes out. So you're going to put the threaded end through, going to the outside, and then you put a washer and then this kind of, I guess, like a locking nut on it, and that's how you tighten it down. I didn't know which way you actually did it, but I looked it up, and that's what the video I saw the guy do. So then now, once we got this in, another thing too is I put this probably just a few inches above the bottom, and the reason why you want to do that is if you do get, sediment in here, it's gonna kind of go to the very bottom. You don't want to drill it down here, because whatever stuff gets in here is gonna go through your line, and it's a very thin line, it'll clog it up. So just go a few inches above, and that will help further your lines from clogging from all the dust and debris. And then I just get this other nipple right here, and I'm not doing any like Teflon or anything like that right now. We're gonna just test it. If I need to put it on there, if it's leaking for whatever reason, then I'll do that. I'll go get a wrench and tighten this, but that's pretty much what it is. And then we just put the hose on, and this thing's pretty much almost done. We just got a little bit more to do, and I think we're gonna be done. All right, y'all, so we're actually coming to you just a few days later. It's kind of why I'm in a different shirt. And that's because, and we're gonna talk a little bit about this, is the cups. The cups that we bought, the one that you saw us put together, had the little yellow thing in it. Yeah, those sucked really bad. The reviews said they were good, and I've seen a lot of people use them, and maybe not just the batch we got wasn't good. I put them all on, we did everything, and immediately I think at least 3 of them were leaking. And I had them tied on there, they had the gasket and all that, and they just were not good. So we had to return them, and we got these other cups, which I think these ones, I'll say this, we got them hooked up, none of them leak. The system, the only thing we have leaking in the system is just right here where I attached that, which I will address it later. It's not, going really bad, but But I will, once the water kind of runs, we'll take that off and we'll put some Teflon tape on it probably and get that sealed up. But everything else, we got it painted. We want to make it look kind of, neat. But so these cups, they're pretty similar to the ones, but they're a little bit different. Alex, once we had the whole thing go on with the cups, we started looking at some other ones, and she found these. And these ones, like I said, they're all working, so that's a plus from the other ones. Now, we don't know the longevity of them, so we'll maybe come back and try to see how we're liking these. But so far, we're liking them, and I like the concept of them. And they're from Rent-A-Coop. We'll just leave a link to that so you all can kind of read about them and see them. It's actually a family-owned business. I think they started in 2012. And they, I guess, test everything on their farm that they have. So it seems like a pretty neat company, family-owned. But the way the cups are, I don't know if you can see it real well, but what it does is the water comes in and it actually will shut off. It's like a shut-off valve. When the water comes in and gets heavy, it shuts it off. And then when the chickens or whatever birds you're using start drinking it and it starts getting light, it'll start to fill back up and then it'll shut it off. So that's how it works. It doesn't have the little dangly thing in there. And we were reading, once we did a little bit more research on them, some people are having troubles that their chickens couldn't figure out the whole yellow thing. When we started reading about these ones is what some people were saying. And it seems like they're built pretty well. I will say the threads, these went straight on to the other one, the same kind of system we had. And they also come with a little kind of grommet nut, like a wing nut, that if you want to put it on anything else, just go check them out. It's a pretty cool waterer. And I will say the threads on them, they seem to be a little bit longer, so there's more threads in it between the other ones. I think that's one reason they're a little bit better. And the gasket on these, little rubber gasket, is a lot thicker and it seems a lot better quality. I mean, I will say it is better quality than the other ones. So they seem a lot better. These are the ones we went with, and we'll just kind of be testing them out and see how they are, if we're going to continue with these or not. But so far we're liking them. So another thing is what we're going to be doing. We're just trying to figure out the right design that we want. Is we're going to do some type of automatic kind of feeder system. So we just kind of got to figure out what's going to be best for us, because we are, like we said before, this will be able to be cut in half if we want to separate, chicks. And so we're just trying to think of what's the best way to do that. We're thinking of some type of PVC system I've seen people do, but we haven't really decided exactly. So right now, we're just going to have this probably open and just have a regular feeder sitting in here. And another thing too is, right now, to kind of catch the poop, we have this kind of tray down here with some shavings. This isn't exactly what we're going to do. We are going to try to do trays underneath here. I'm probably going to just put a kind of a board going across and just have a tray system. And the reason why we haven't done that is because we got to find the right trays. They got to be a certain size and I have to have those trays first, so then I can actually build what it is. I can't necessarily build what I'm going to do until I have those trays, so I know the dimensions I'm working with. So it's kind of, we're done with this, but we just got a few, just tunings that we got to do here later once we get everything in. But I think it's going to work out pretty well, because having the trays up here, since this is kind of a good airflow, all this is going to be mainly indoors while we have the chicks. They probably won't be outside, so we'll have the heat lamp on them, and then having the trays underneath will keep it to where it kind of hold a little bit heat, just a little bit better. But I'm not worried about the chicks getting like too cold or anything like that, because this is all kind of wire. Because it'll be indoors and we'll have the heat lamp and everything, so I don't see an issue with temperature and stuff like that with them. But I think that's pretty much it. We're gonna actually probably just grab the chicks and stick them in here and see how they like running around in this new brooder. All right, y'all. So we got the chickens in there. They seem like they're just getting used to their new environment, checking out the waters. I think that's kind of going to wrap things up. We are probably going to put probably a little bit of hay, just maybe on one side, so they can get up off the wire if they want to, just to give them that. So if any of y'all are wondering about that, we will stick probably a little bit in there. And like I said before, this is the first time us using this type of kind of brooder. We've seen a lot of people use things like this. So there's probably going to be a lot of trial and error type stuff, just trying to figure things out. And so, but we're pretty excited about, you know, building this and having them in here and just having them be up more kind of eye level, and it really will make us to where we can really handle them a lot better, and they can really kind of see us a lot better instead of being so high. But that's pretty much going to wrap everything up. If you like this video, hit the like button. You got any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll try to do the best of our ability to answer them. We're not professionals or anything like that. We're just people doing the things that we do. But if you like our video, subscribe to our channel. We do a lot of videos kind of like this. And hit that like button if you thought this was a cool video. It really helps us out a lot. And check out that one company with the cups. We're not sponsored by them at all or anything. We literally just found them, but it seems like a pretty cool company. And we'll kind of let you know how these cups kind of turn out, because those last ones, I was very disappointed at them. Hopefully they're not all like that. I know some people have used them, but for us, I'll probably never buy those cups ever again. But y'all take care, and God bless.